Good evening, everyone. We are here at Sportsnet Studios at the Canadian Broadcasting Centre in Toronto. It is the 16th of September 2019 at approximately 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Here is a copy of the Jewish Independent, which is only 3 days old. It's actually produced twice a week. And I will zoom in on the date here. Make sure we get that there. Okay. With me is NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly, along with randomly selected members of the Sportsnet media. Why don't you wave to the camera there, Bill? This evening, we will conduct the official drawing for the 2019-2020 King David Fantasy Hockey League Draft using a non-weighted lottery system to determine the order for the first 10 selections of the 2019-2020 King David Fantasy Hockey League Draft. The first drawing will decide the team receiving the first overall selection. The second drawing will determine the team receiving the second overall selection, and so on until the final team selected will receive the 10th overall selection. The lottery machine beside me will be loaded with 10 balls. 1 ball is allocated for each team. Now, are there any questions regarding the draft lottery process? No? No questions? Okay. Then without further ado, I will now ask Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly to begin to load and start the lottery machine and draw each selection at 15-second intervals. Bill, you may begin and draw the first selection at this time.
The first overall selection in the 2019-2020 King David Fantasy Hockey League Draft belongs to the Linchitters. The second overall selection in the 2019-2020 King David Fantasy Hockey League Draft belongs to John Garrett. The third overall selection in the 2019-2020 King David Fantasy League Draft belongs to Olsas. The fourth overall selection in the 2019-2020 King David Fantasy Hockey League Draft belongs to Tots for Torts. The fifth overall selection in the 2019-2020 King David Fantasy Hockey League Draft belongs to Mers Lickens. The sixth overall selection, the 2019-2020 King David Fantasy Hockey League Draft belongs to Monteselflo. The seventh overall selection in the 2019-2020 King David Fantasy Hockey League Draft belongs to the Fire Trucks. The eighth overall selection in the 2019-2020 King David Fantasy Hockey League Draft belongs to Jay Rubenstein. The ninth overall selection in the 2019-2020 King David Fantasy Hockey League Draft belongs to Should I Stay or Luongo? And the 10th overall pick for selection in the 2019-2020 King David Fantasy Hockey League Draft belongs to Shabbat Shalom.
To recap, the first overall selection belongs to the Linshitters. The second overall selection belongs to John Garrett. The third overall selection belongs to Olsass. The fourth overall selection belongs to Tots for Torts. The fifth overall selection belongs to Merzlikins. The sixth overall selection belongs to Montecelflo. The seventh overall selection belongs to the Fire Trucks. The eighth overall selection belongs to Jay Rubenstein. The ninth overall selection belongs to Should I Stay or Luongo. And the 10th and final overall selection for the 2019-2020 King David Fantasy Hockey League Draft belongs to Shabbat Shalom. Thank you all for coming. This recaps the 2019-2020 King David Fantasy Hockey League Draft Lottery. And I would like to thank Commissioner Bill Daly, or Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly, for helping us tonight with the lottery machine. And I would like to thank all the fans watching on Sportsnet TVA in Canada and on NBC Sports in the United States. Thank you and good night.